Welcome back to day 10 of the 29-day love challenge. Right? I think I got some when you comes to numbers. When it comes to numbers, some of my favorite numbers. Number one is day 5.
Okay.
Not because of who was on it, because that was my birthday is May 5th. 5 is a very important number. And then uh, day 10, because that was one of my favorite numbers growing up. Walt Frazier wore number 10. Earl
Mm.
the Pearl Monroe wore number 10,
Okay.
right? But I wanted them to be them, so lows
Okay.
had to become lows. And my favorite number was number 11. So tomorrow is day 11. I'm going to be excited about that but yet, here's the crazy thing. When I was in high school, you know, we had some weird numbers. I mean, uniforms, it was crazy. So I ended up with number 12 because there was no number 11. and
Oh,
and then
that's so
and then
sad.
and then on the road, then I had to choose. You just disappeared. You, you see her just disappear. Right,
I'm back.
you're back. But yet on the road, you didn't have a uniform number 12, so you had to have a different number. So I end up having number 15
On
on
the
the road.
road.
I
Okay.
mean, when I first started, and uh, the reason why I chose number 15 because Earl the Pearl Monroe
Mm.
left the Baltimore Bullets,
Okay.
came a member of the New York Knicks, right? And he was number 15. Again, welcome you back. We welcome you back to day 10 of this love challenge, man. I really enjoyed it. Missed my wife during the week, but
Oh, I missed you too.
she always said if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And so I had to learn to fish on my own for the entire work. First full week, on my own. Hopefully, if you've been watching, hopefully you did I've done a decent job for you guys. We welcome your opinions, your thoughts about the show. And, I want to say to you that, this stays on uh, Lowe's More the Blueprint, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you miss a day, you can go back and check it out. You can even catch up. That's what I was doing
Okay.
in the wisdom challenge for January. I would say I made 50% of them live. And then the other 50% I had to catch up,
Okay.
right? But I made it through 31 days wisdom challenge. So if we like you to make it through 29 days, I think yesterday was important because we talked about frequencies and vibrations and how we change the frequency. How do we change our vibration? How do we change it? A little. Remember when you back in the day
The
you used to have the
knobs on.
radio, little radio,
That was noise. Yeah.
or you on your in your radio in your car and you look for a radio station,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And remember, it was not only AM. FM wasn't even known. Now FM is a big thing, and it was only AM, right? And so you had to, as you're driving in your car, you would just lose the sound. You just Okay, so now you may not even get that station back from one state to another or one city to another. You might not get that back, so you have to see if you can find the music or information that you liked. Well, that's what we're doing. We're changing the
The frequency.
frequency and vibration, right? We're changing it. We're searching for the channel of love, and we want it to be consistent.
Absolutely.
So
And we're
welcome back,
hoping
my
that
wife here.
hoping that it will become contagious. Even if people are not on the show live with us, we're hoping when people begin to look at it that they will understand the importance of showing love, showing random acts of kindness. Yeah. And I've
Mm.
been enjoying watching the shows and catching up, and your guests have been great. And we're hoping that there'll be some more guests as we go through the week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right now I interviewed. I think I had Hugo pop on.
Yeah, you
I
go.
mean, Hugo got excited about. He introduced me to a lady who's has a very special uh, program and project. We're working on finding a date
Oh, good, good,
for
good.
her to come on. He's been talking to people about it. That's how it becomes a wildfire,
Absolutely,
right? Is
absolutely,
that when you start to share it, like this, share this. I
absolutely.
like that.
And
Like this,
like it and share it.
share
And
this.
and so again, it this is really born out of your love for Joyce Meyer and her book, The Love Revolution, right? And not just the book, but her action. See, Joyce Meyer isn't one of those individuals that just talks about stuff. She actually actualizes it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we wanted to do. So we want everyone, if you've had an act of kindness shown to you, or if you have done an act of kindness, share it. Um, One of the things that I didn't really consider, but when the pandemic came 2020, I learned how to do technology, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
show, Zoom, things like that. And one of our really good friends and brothers, Pastor Charles Clayton, was the minister of music for the Fellowship of Praise Seventh Day Adventist Church.
Mm-hmm.
And they were only doing everything by telephone. They didn't really know how to transition to the technology. And Pastor Charles introduced them to me, and I taught them how to do everything to make their church experience relevant during the
On
pandemic
Zoom.
on Zoom,
Yeah.
virtual on Zoom. And we created, out of an act of kindness, we've allowed Pastor Clayton to continue to use our home as a studio downstairs because they have decided to keep their service virtual because they had a small church, and by the time they cut on the lights, do all the things that would cost them, it was much more cost effective to keep the word going, but to keep it going on a virtual way. And so, we still work, with them. And I love Pastor Giles and Lady Giles. And Pastor Clayton is, if you hear any background noise, you might hear Pastor Clayton downstairs in our studio singing. So we have a podcast going on, or shall I say a Zoom going on downstairs while we're doing the podcast upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
But we've created the studio in our living room and the studio in our basement.
Right. And the interesting thing, this little virtual screen here, and we don't have like the
Our green
green screen
screen.
behind us. So I like it. I don't want to do it consistently, but I like it because I turn in the flash on it. I could just
Oh
I could
no, here
I
we
could just
go.
I could just disappear. Like I could, see, I'm not there, but you still hear me talking. Oh, I like that. I could just disappear. That's how fast I am, y'all. I'm still fast, you know. But yeah,
but
I'm.
but those are moments of love and that we've shared. And so even on this week, sometimes people will call you and ask you to pray for them, and that's something that I've been doing. I've been actually randomly you know praying for people, or trying to be present when people need you to be present. um one of my one of the young ladies that I know, she was telling me something about her daughter. Something was going on with her daughter, and she was, you could see in her face that it was scaring her. And what I said to her was, listen, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And she looked at me and I said, I know you went to the internet to look up those symptoms, didn't you? And she said, yeah. And I said, and so when you looked up those symptoms, it frightened you, didn't it? And she said, yes. I said, eat from the tree of life. I need you to understand who Jesus is. I need you to focus on him, focus on praying, focus on what he can do for you and the healing. I said, focus on that. I said, because it's all about life. If you go to the internet and start looking up symptoms and all that kind of stuff, you could actually have symptoms of stuff that you don't really have
Hmm.
because you've psyched yourself into what's come off that page. And I'm a witness. Doctors started talking about, oh, you have lupus, oh, you have. I started looking up all the signs and symptoms. All of a sudden, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, and I had to zero in on who God was in my life. Sister Monica Russell brought the book, The Soaking, to us, and I started soaking in who He was and praying and worshiping in in a different kind of way, in a frequency way that connected me to Him.
Hmm.
And they brought me to a specialist, and they said they're going to do 5 tests, and if any one of those markers have a positive result, then you would probably have it. All 5 of them were negative. Immediately the symptoms that I thought I had went away. Why is that? Right? Sometimes people have to speak life into you in situations, and you can do that anywhere, and that can help a person, along the way. And so I was grateful that I was able to do that for somebody else, and that's somebody did it for me.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing is, yesterday, that what was powerful about Bob Proctor's video on frequencies and vibrations. Your frequency can change with what you listen to or what you're watching on television,
Mm-hmm.
or something somebody says to you, or something you heard from somebody that somebody said. I mean, one moment you could be happy and somebody said, I heard such and such talking about you and they said this. All of a sudden, your frequency, your vibration would just change, right? And the thing is, you want to find the right frequency and you want to stay on it,
Right.
right? And so we're trying to find we're trying to find the right frequency. We found the right frequency, and that frequency is love, and we want to create a revolution,
Mm.
right? And we believe that in the next 29 days, right? In the well, of course, of these 29 days, we're trying to change the frequency,
Yeah.
and the thing is, for us too, we're not talking telling you to do something we're not trying to do. It's not easy to stay on a frequency because life's cares just get in the way sometimes. Somebody says something, you instantly react because that's we're in our humanity. We're human, right? But to get over to that side where we're spiritual, where we learn to respond to stuff, love is, yes, it's a verb, it's an action, but it's spiritual,
Yeah.
right? It's a spiritual remnant, a spiritual power.
And when you think about that, what I've found myself enjoying lately is I have um, really enjoyed hanging out with your mom lately, right? I mean, I haven't laughed so much before. I mean, we have enjoyed spending time with her and laughing and laughing and laughing, going to dinner, and just those things. I mean, just those moments make it all the better. And and everybody is kind of like moved away and stuff, and I just enjoy being able to go out to dinner with her. And I don't think I've laughed as much. I mean, like, we've really been to dinner pretty much every week for 3 weeks in a row or something like that, right? And so it's just a joy, and I cannot tell you how much I've been laughing with her.
Well, she had me cracking up last night, right? Because from on our way back from the basketball game last night, um, I don't know. My mom, when she when she's in the car and anybody's driving, it could be me or Treese or anybody. She watches you drive, right? And she's in every little motion, you know, and she's looking at the car next to her, the car on the other side, the car behind the car in front of us, and she's weaving and ducking, and she can't sleep, she can't close her eyes because she thinks something gonna happen, so forth and so on. So I was just doing my normal driving, right?
Normal.
Yeah, that's how
Go
I
do like
normally
this. Go like
drive.
this. That's how he was driving, y'all.
I was doing my normal weaving,
Ma, wasn't that how
Look,
he was
look, look,
driving? Watch,
look.
Ma, watch. Is that how he was driving?
No, you know what happened is that like if I'm in the fast lane, right, and the car is moving, and I get up behind somebody who's in front of me in the fast lane going slow, I just want them to move over, right? And so I'm driving behind them, and they don't move over, so I move around them.
So y'all remember when I talked to y'all last time I was on about how he needs a little bit of random act of kindness when he gets behind the wheel. I'm gonna challenge. I'm gonna challenge you. He goes challenge. I want to
Challenge.
challenge him to give a random act of kindness when he's
I
driving,
first of all, I didn't.
going through. Go
No,
ahead.
no. I
Go
think
ahead.
I've
It's
gotten better.
okay. Get in front of me.
I think I've gotten better because I didn't say anybody. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just moved.
No. You just
So my
you
mother
just
got
gave us.
home last
You
night.
just
Man, I
you
walked.
gave my whiplash.
Yeah, I ain't getting no whiplash. When we got upstairs and she got in the house. She said, "I'm still moving." You going like that's how you was driving. I'm nervous now. I'm stressed out. I got to go in here and drink some water. I'm like, oh, come on.
But you know what? The good thing is I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the time that we're spending together and doing things with one another. It's just those are priceless moments. So what I would ask you all to do if you have a parent or uh, somebody who is a parent to you, do something that's a random act of kindness for them today. Give them a call. Let them know that you love them, in any way, shape, or form, my auntie or anything
Hmm.
like that. Give them a call today. And you don't ask them for anything. Just say, I love you. That would be all the joy in the world. I love to do that. And so my goal today is to reach out to my aunties and uncle and just say, I love you today. That means so much. I know my aunt, when I call my Uncle Ernie, my Aunt Roz, when she answers the phone, she goes, oh, that was so sweet of you. That was so kind of you. She always says that, right? So I love being able to do that and just, see the smile, in their voices. Because you know what love is, Lowe's?
But
Love is light. Yesterday, you told a story about your son's song. You want to share a little bit about that again? Because we wanted to talk a little bit about that.
yeah, I think I mentioned Chris Tomlin,
Yeah.
and I, Losey, he lived in California for a long time, right? And I had heard a song that I liked by Chris Tomlin,
Right.
and his voice. It was something about his voice and the content of the song, right? And one of his songs is "Love People," right? But I think Losey was singing it. He was singing it, one of his songs at one time. He always sings songs to us, so he always sends us songs that he sings. And I said, well, like, you ever thought about doing a worship song? And would you think about writing one for me? I didn't pay it no mind. I just left it at Christmas time. I'm sitting in basically a chair like this one that I'm
Mm.
sitting in now,
Mhm.
looking up at the television. They say, "Oh yeah, I want you to see something. I want you to hear something," and they put this song on, and I'm thinking like, "This is oh man, that song is beautiful, man. That's Chris Tomlin. I mean, that's a song?" They said, "No, no, man, that's Losey." I was like, "What?" That song was so beautiful. It brought tears to my eyes. It was one of the most powerful and special gifts I ever received. And I
Mhm.
received a lot of gifts. But we want you to check this song out
And
and
especially
tell
because it's about the love revolution. The song is called Love is Light.
Love is Light. So let me know whether you enjoyed it. And while we're playing this, if you have an act of kindness that, as Tree said earlier, that was done to you, or you've done an act of kindness, yeah, please share it with us.
Okay. right, let me just go back for a second.
All right. We got a picture of the song.
I got a picture of the song. Okay. Uh, yeah. Everybody can hear it.
I've searched in the depths of the shadows, doubted if I was worthy of your grace. Been led astray only to find the answer in the center of your warm embrace. Oh, whoa. Found my way back to your light. In spite of the odds, I continue to fight. Feeling you more the closer I get. A journey with you I will never forget. Singing, oh, your light leads me through darkness. Your love guides me through strife. Your grace shields me from the weight of this world. Your love, it is alive. It is alive. Your love, it is alive. One of a kind love, it is alive. Your grace is alive. Oh, your wonderful, wonderful mercy, it is alive. Your light leads me through darkness. Your love guides me through strife. Your grace shields me from the weight of this world. Your love, it is alive. It is alive. Been led astray only to find the answer in the center of your warm embrace. Yes, Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, my Jesus loves me. Yes, my Jesus loves me. For the Bible, it is life.
Wow.
I love that song. Yeah, I do love that song, man. That's
We're
amazing.
frozen right now. Okay.
Yeah, we back. Like we freezing a little bit here, but we are back. Um, I love it, man. What? I
I
don't
don't
know
know
how
what
we got
happened.
StreamYard stuff on. Yeah. Well, we're
Uh,
back. Um, we want to show you this other video real quick.
okay.
It's only a minute long, but we want to show you this this video on the power of act of kindness.
A local woman is going viral this week for doing something so simple but so good. Check this out. You may have seen this floating around online this week, a Facebook post about a young woman helping a blind man, a stranger to her. The post has been shared thousands of times since Saturday. The Good Samaritan, Casey Spellman, an indie woman who was visiting friends at Wrigleyville over the weekend. When the Cubs game finished, she had spotted a blind man attempting to hail a cab with no luck.
I just happened to see this man standing on the curb, and he was blind, and I went over and asked him if he wanted some help hailing a cab, and he said yes, and I got him a cab and he went home.
Little did she know, at the same time, a man from Indiana was watching the entire time and took all of those pictures and posted them on Facebook with her kind act. Casey says she hopes it's a positive lesson for others.
Treat people as people, whether they're different from you, whether they have a disability. Just remember that we're all people, and we need to look out for each other. And the world would be a better place, I think, if people did that every day.
We'll echo that, Casey. She grew up in Carmel and is a speech language pathologist at Indiana School for the Deaf. She says she doesn't want to be hailed as a hero, that what she did is just something that you should all do all the time.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I love those acts of kindness that I see. I love watching them. One of my favorite shows is Undercover Boss.
Yeah, you cry on that all the time.
Yeah.
You like
I
that.
love that, man.
Yeah.
They these owners of these businesses, they go in undercover, and man, they check on their employees and make sure their business is going well. Some people they gotta let go because they are not kind. And then others, man, they really get blessed by the owners when they find out how good or their circumstances are unfortunate and need help and stuff like that. I seen from paying for college scholarships, sending them back to school, purchasing homes. I mean, just so many good. One of my favorite shows is The Undercover Boss.
hmm Yeah, that is a great show. Now, I wanted to kind of go back really quickly because, yeah, you talked about the young lady. Yeah, yeah, Anthony and you. I tell you, you guys are kindred. um, uh, "Love Is Light" is Losie's song, right? And I think that was really cool. That love is light, but at the same time, um, what the young lady did showed that love is light.
Mm,
And love
yeah.
is light to a person who couldn't see,
Mm, yeah.
right?
And she showed love.
She showed him the light.
Yeah.
And sometimes that we think that light is just this thing. The light is in us and it ought to shine through us in the acts that we do, for other people. And so that is our goal. Our 29-day love challenge is really all about the Bible says, let your light so shine that men might see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Right? So we ought to let our light shine, whatever it is, doing good work, showing people, the illumination. So you talked about frequency, right? So frequency is about sound, but illumination is about light.
Mm,
And so love should have a frequency or a sound, and it also should have a an illumination or a light that goes with it.
mm,
So
I
when
like that.
you walk and move, your love light should always be on.
Right. Well, you know what? Because you're talking about illumination, frequency, vibration. I think as we walk near people, I think there's a sense of, I'm open and you can say hello to me,
Oh yeah.
right? Or I'm closed, don't speak to me,
Right.
right? Sometimes you can see it visibly,
You can sense it.
yeah, or you can sense it in the
Yeah.
vibration, because
Yeah.
that's what music is. Music is a vibration.
Have you ever been
Sound
to a
is a vibration.
situation where a person had that presentation and you broke it by a smile
Mhm.
or by an illumination of light, when they were like darkness was all over, and all of a sudden you came and you shined your light, and all of a sudden, so one thing happens, right? If your light is bright enough, you're going to do one of two things. A person in darkness is not going to want to be around your light,
That's right.
or a person in darkness will be absorbed by your light. Ooh, that was
Right.
good. That was good. Give me 5 on that one. They're going to run from your
I was
light,
looking at
or
Anthony,
they're
he
going to be
said-
absorbed by your light. Yes, absolutely. Always on. Your love
Yeah.
light should always be on. Just like they say, what was that commercial, that hotel? It's I'll leave the light on for you. Motels, so I'll leave the light on for
I'll
you,
leave the
right?
light
Y'all
on.
come on, y'all leave the,
Yeah.
and that's what it should be. I'll leave the light on for you, the love light, on for you. And it's hard sometimes, right? You said something yesterday that was so powerful, because I think a lot of people miss it. Random act of kindness shouldn't always be to strangers or people that you like. You could do a random act of kindness to somebody who doesn't like you.
Mm.
Now you wanna get somewhere. That's a place.
Yeah.
I remember when Michelle was a little girl, and this was something that was crazy because, and I'm going to talk about this because I have to speak on Monday at the Denzel Washington School of the Arts, and this is something that I might mention if I can remember it. But Michelle was little.
You better write it down.
Yeah, Michelle was. I want to say she was in high school, maybe a freshman or something. And Michelle was talented, is talented, but she was very talented as a young girl. And these girls were like, were trying to bully her. They were trying to, come for her, and now I'm a mom, so I have a really hard time having random acts of kindness when people want to attack my kid, right? I need some deliverance there. Help me, y'all pray for me. But she came home and she said, Mommy, these girls are, they coming after me, and they said that I think that I'm all that and a bag of chips. And I said to her, baby, you are all that and a bag of chips.
Mm.
And I said, but so are they. I said, when they say that to you, turn around and say, I am, and so are you, right? They were so in their negative space that when they did that to her and she said, I am all that in a bag of chips, but so are you, and so are you, and so are you. Don't you understand we're all that in a bag of chips and we need to walk like that? She turned her enemies into friends by not responding negatively to a dark place, but her light shined and she changed the atmosphere around her.
Yeah, I like that.
So you have to also show your kindness to the enemies.
Yeah. And so I want to thank you guys, because we're a little bit over our time. And thank Anthony and thank everybody for joining us
He
this
said, say
afternoon.
that quote about living in darkness again. Does he think I'm going to remember that? You better rewind this tape. I have no idea what I just said.
Yeah, that's why it's random.
No, listen. No, I think what you were saying is that, what I think I said was that with your light, that darkness cannot comprehend light. So if you shine bright enough, darkness is going to leave the light. Or the other thing light will do, it will absorb it. So that, in other words, that darkness can't exist because the light has overtaken it and it's kind of coming. So either darkness is going to go away or it's going to be absorbed and it's going to shift from dark to light.
Well, yeah, as we come to this close, here's the example I think you're talking about. You come into a room and it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Dark has found dominion. It has found power until you hit the light switch.
Come on. You don't even have to hit a light switch. All you got to do is cut on a little flashlight.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes at night, man, I don't want to disturb you when I'm coming up in the room, right? So I got
your phone.
my phone light on. And then you showed me the other day underneath, if I push a button on our remote bed, right?
The light will come on.
The light comes on.
Yeah.
And it was dark underneath that bed until I pushed the light button.
And if you know anything about, listen, we go in a little deep, but if you know anything about darkness, right? If you ever walk into a dark room or you go into a light room and you cut the light off, initially you can't see. Everything goes black. But if you focus your eyes long enough, your eyes will allow you to focus in the darkness, right? And what you don't want to do is get so focused on the darkness that you forget where the light is, right? And I said that because I remember one time when we had our power out, right? And we were walking around here, and after a while, we were walking around here in darkness, that when the light came on, we didn't even realize the lights had cut off. Like, we were like in darkness. So don't let your eyes get focused on in the darkness, because you are the light, and you bring the light, and you shift the atmosphere when you bring your light into a dark situation. Never let darkness overtake your light. You have the power to overtake darkness with your light. So let your light so shine. And when you do it, the random act of kindness will be the light that will shine in a dark world.
All right. We're going to let those be the final words. And I'm going to show you these 2 videos that I close with every day. Right. We look forward to seeing you on day 11.
Oh, and to say happy anniversary in heaven to my mommy and daddy.
Happy anniversary.
This was the love. Yeah, this was their love day. And so I want to just wish them a happy heavenly anniversary. They are back together again, and they've been together since 2013. I miss them tremendously.
Yeah. Awesome. Check these videos out. Check them out. Everybody's been requesting. They request our intro, outro, and this very special video on kindness.
You gonna disappear?
I gotta go.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, "No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all." Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind. Because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, "In the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit." No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.